Hey guys, this new video is with Michelle, one of my best friends from college. So our conversation was super vulnerable and interesting and a lot of fun for me. It's a little bit different than regular Street Connect videos because it's with a friend, but the connection is still there and I hope that you enjoy it. If you like these videos, would you please comment and share and subscribe to them on YouTube so that you don't miss the new content every Tuesday and so that you don't miss your connection. This is Street Connect, a project that I started to bring more purpose and connection into New York City life. And I do that by having conversations with strangers.
What is something that stresses you the most? What's one of your biggest stressors?
I'll tell you that one, that's mad easy. Yo, one of my biggest stressors is preparing meals for my family.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That seems like a basic thing, but I just feel like so much of my time is like consumed with trying to figure out what my kids are gonna eat and making sure that I know before they start asking me. I don't know, it takes so much time that it just stresses me out. Like, to the point where you know, I've told you that I just moved to intermittent fasting, which basically eliminates breakfast and lunch for me, so that I just don't have to think about food more. So that's like a basic answer for like what stresses me out the most. And I think another thing that like stresses me, I guess, is like thinking about how I use my time and wondering if I'm using it like wisely enough. I have to be like okay with certain decisions that I make. You know what I mean? Like earlier, I was sitting knitting and me and my mother-in-law were talking and I was just like, man, I should be putting in grades right now. Like, what can I multitask and do? So I'm always thinking of like, what two tasks can I either do together or like, am I just making good sense of my time? And I think it's just, as you get older, this kind of existential feeling of wasting your life away, you know what I mean? And having to account for the time you spend and how wisely you spend it. And I'm not sure that I definitely don't spend all my time wisely. I try to be thoughtful about how I spend my time, but then it's also making sure that I put value on what's valuable and not just what society puts value on.
Right.
Like, for me, spending time knitting or like listening to somebody talk or talking to somebody is valuable. So even though it's not necessarily productive, there's still value in it. Right. What has been your deepest pain?
Loss has been the deepest pain for me. I've had a lot of loss in the last year. Deaths, you know, as you know, I lost a baby, you know, so that has been something that I've been working through, just loss after loss after loss, and kind of like reconciling like what it means, like instead of just getting lost and getting buried in the loss and the pain of that, is like, what am I supposed to be taking from this? Like, God, what do you want me to learn from it? What am I supposed to be taking from all of this?
Do you feel like there's always a lesson in loss?
I think there's lessons in everything, right? But it's hard when you're in it.
So you have to find the meaning in something before you move forward.
Yes, like I need to figure out what it means so I won't get stuck. It'll be like almost like a tape replaying.
Like, how could I have done this differently?
How can I have done this differently? How can I have prevented something? What could I have said something to this person who passed? Just all those things that you do to like replay stuff. That was a good question.
How have you gotten through like your losses?
I still feel like I'm still getting through it, and the way I cope is like through friends and family, and also trying to stay grounded. Like, I know that sounds like a real cliche, but like I have to constantly remind myself what I have and all the blessings that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to forget them. So for me, that's how I'm getting through it, because it's still a process. Like, you know what I mean? And also too, just to like keep telling myself to just keep going. Even just get up, Michelle. Just get up and go. You know, because like I said, once I stay still for too long in my thoughts, like thinking in a mindset, then I won't move. I'll just stay there in that space, you know.
I think for me, also, like, you know, I had a miscarriage as well, and I think one thing that hit me like so hard was like that profound sense of loss that you feel until it happens to you. Like it's almost not real, and then when it happens to you, it's like such a sensitive, like kind of intimate loss. Because it's inside, like, you know what I mean? Like you're losing very like a a part of you in like a real way. I just remember feeling like, am I ever going to get to the other side of this grief? Like, and how do you grieve appropriately?
Yes.
Something that's so hard to communicate. Like, some days all I wanted to do was like sit and cry, and then other days I felt okay until I didn't, and then I was crying. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I laughed and then I felt bad because I was laughing. You know, how do you process through grief? It's like, and each loss that you experience is different. Because how you relate to people is different. You know what I mean? And it's just weird.
It is
tough.
It is. You brought up a good point, like what's appropriate grieving, right? Yeah. So for me, I was like full out showing, right? I was like 5 months or whatever. So it's like the grieving was double for me. Not any form of loss, no matter how far along or whatever it is, it's hard, right? Yeah. But I think what was hardest for me personally is having everybody like, oh wow, celebrating this baby, and I'm showing, and you know, and having to now explain to everybody at work, at different places, that I'm no longer pregnant. And also too, I had to give birth, you know what I mean? So going through the whole birthing process but not coming home with a baby, and then still dealing with postpartum, your body still looks like, you know, you're dealing with everything as if you just had a child, right? But then you're not coming home with a kid. So I mean, it's hard. And then with all the other losses, all the deaths, it's like triggers. What I realize is that as women, our grieving has to be, I don't know, it's packaged in a different way. You know what I mean? Because it's tangible, like you have a child growing in you. So like our grieving process, I feel like is a lot different. Like I'm sure Khalid probably grieved as well, and my partner grieves, but it's a different feeling. Like it's almost like you lost a piece of you, right? And kind of figuring out what do I do with this? But it is hard.